Welcome back. This is third video of our series of deploying Palo Alto Virtual Appliance on Microsoft Azure using Microsoft Azure Load Balancer for high availability. In this third video, we are going to deploy our first virtual appliance, Palo Alto Virtual Appliance in UK South region, Zone 1. So let's move to our Azure portal. So ideally, or the easiest way to create a place, but there is a problem. So first let's discuss what is the problem. If you go to your resource groups, Palo RGFW1, this is the resource deploy our first virtual appliance. If you click on create, it will take you to the Azure Marketplace. And if you type in Palo Alto, let's wait for this to load first. The problem is that it does not give you option to select a zone, because we are going to deploy both the Palo Alto virtual appliances in the same region, which is UK South. So it makes sense to deploy both the virtual appliances in two different zones. Even if one zone goes down, the other should take part. But if you go through Marketplace and then select VM series next generation Palo Alto firewall, click create. For the sake of this video, let's click BYOL. There are multiple options. Either you can bring your own license, or you can use pay-as-you-go model, which is provided by Microsoft Azure. All right. So if you see these options, there is an option of region, username, authentication, but there is no option to select your zone. So for that reason, either you can use your ARM templates or Terraform templates, or there is already a template available on GitHub. I'll share a link in description. If you go to this link in GitHub, there is a template available which do provide you the option to select the zone. So if you click on if you go to this GitHub link and click on deploy to Azure, it will automatically take you to the Microsoft Azure portal, and this is where you can select a zone options as well, right? Again, I'm using this template, but it's up to you if you want to use your ARM templates, or you want to use Terraform templates, or you want to download this template from GitHub, customize it according to your requirements. It's up to you. But for the sake of this video, to keep it simple, we'll use this template. Okay. So first option is subscription. That's correct. Now select a resource group. First Palo will go to Palo RGFW1, region UK South, location is fine, NSG is fine. So let's go with the default NSG. We'll customize it later. Storage data. Okay, let's change the name. Okay. So for this firewall, I'll give it a name, Palo FW1. Palo FW1. All right. And let's change the name of NSG as well. I think this is a good chance. So this will be a management NSG. So I'll name it Palo. Sorry, where's the default NSG? All right. Palo NSG management. All right. And in image version, I'll go with the latest. You can change. In terms of size, this size reflects to VM 300 series, 4 virtual CPUs and 14 GB memory. Again, this is a test environment, so this is fine, but you can change it according to your requirement. Now let's go to virtual network name. So we have already created a virtual network. So let's go to virtual network. This is the virtual network that we are going to use. So just click on that, copy the name, come back to template. Okay, so it's asking a virtual network name, so I'll just, sorry, it's not copied, I'll copy it again. So go back, paste it. Now whether it's an existing or a new VNet, so it's an existing one because we have already created virtual network address prefix. So if you go back, click on address space, all right, click on address space. It's taking some time. Let's refresh the page. All right. It's taking some time to load, but let's wait for it to load first. Yeah. So move back to address space. So I'll copy the management address space here. So which is 10, 10, 200 or 0. So I'll just copy the management address space, put it here. Then virtual network existing resource group name. For that, again, go back, click on overview. All right. So this is the resource group name. Copy, paste. Now the subnet names. So MGMT is subnet 0, untrust, and trust. So this is how I named it. If you go back to subnets, if you go back to subnets, you will see that our naming convention matches the exact requirement of the template. It could be anything. Means I have named my subnets according to these names: MGMT, untrust, and trust. But you can use any name, whatever makes more sense to you. MGMT, untrust, and trust. All right. So it's already there. Now it's asking for a prefix, subnet 0 prefix. For that, let's go back. Subnet 0 is our management. So we'll copy this subnet, paste it here, then go back, untrust, copy, and paste, which is subnet 1. Now let's go to trust, which is subnet 2. All right. So next option is whether you want to use public SSH key or password. I'll go with the password. Let's add a username. I'll use PALO admin. All right, and the password, make sure it's a complex password if it is a production environment. All right, now admin SSH key, let's keep it blank because we are not using SSH key. All right, so another important thing is public IP. That is something which we missed. We need to create it before, because in public IP, we need to select the zone as well. So let's go back, open another window, go to resource group. All right, go to PALO RGFW1. Okay, so here I'll create a public IP first. Just like a VNet, we'll create a public IP before deploying a Palo Alto virtual appliance. So if you go to marketplace, type in public IP address. Public IP address, click create. Okay, resource group is there, UK South, give it a name. So I'll give it PALO PIP. PIP stands for public IP address, MGMT for management, FW1. All right, and this is the main option, availability zone. Instead of zone redundant, it has to be a specific zone. And because we are going to deploy our first firewall in zone 1 of UK South, so I've selected a zone 1 for IP address as well. Leave rest default. Okay, and let's click review and create. Okay, so now it should be created. Now we'll use public IP address as existing. Let's give it a name. This is the public IP address. Oh no, sorry. This is the public IP address field. This is the public IP address resource group name, right? So resource group is same for both of firewall and public IP address. So if you go to resource, this is our public IP address. Click on overview. All right, so from here, copy resource group name, go back, public IP address resource group name. Here you go. All right, so we want to have it a static IP address. Okay, and here you go. this is the zone option. Click, type in zone 1. In UK South, there are 3 zones: zone 1, zone 2, zone 3. So I've selected zone 1 for this firewall. So for other firewall, we'll use zone 2. Availability set, we are not going to use, and rest leave default. Now click on review plus create. Let's see if it comes back with any error. Running final validation. Yeah, validation passed. Now click on create. So this way you can deploy a Palo Alto virtual appliance in zone of your own choice. All right, so let's see if deployment gets successful. All right, it's showing that Ethernet network interfaces are already provisioned. Network security group is also provisioned. So it can take few minutes, but I think it's important to monitor it at least for the first deployment. So now it's deploying a Palo Alto virtual appliance, which is Palo FW01. If you go through marketplace, you cannot select the zone. So that's the reason we had to choose a difficult way of creating using a template which is available on GitHub. If you are going with the single Palo Alto virtual appliance deployment, you don't need to go through this process. Then you can just go through Azure Marketplace and that's it. So in terms of subscription, resource group, you can check all the settings. It should be in UK South Region 1. Okay, I think it's gonna take some time. So I'll come back to you once it is deployed, then we'll go through the settings. So I'll pause the video for now. Okay, so now after wait of like 5 minutes, this deployment is successfully completed. So let's go to resource and find out if it shows the zone which we have selected before. So if you click on overview tab, all right, so it shows all the resources that have been provisioned: firewall, 3 network interfaces, SSD disk, network security group, and the public IP. So let's go to our virtual appliance, virtual machine. Click on overview. And then here you go. Availability zone 1. That's why we had to deploy it through the custom template. Otherwise, it was very straightforward. Okay, so that's done for this video. Let's in next video we'll configure another virtual appliance, our second virtual appliance, in availability zone 2. All right. So let me know if you have any comments, and see you in next video. Thank you.